This is Hamp Lee III from Spiritual Combatants, where we're training soldiers for Christ. I want to thank you for joining me for today's message. Today, I'm going to be talking about 2 reasons love is not easily provoked. And so this is a continuation of our series on 17 characteristics of love, and this is number 8. So let's get into it. So the word for easily provoked, it means in the Greek, it's like to exasperate, and this is like to irritate intensely, and to easily provoke or to stir up. And so this could be people that really quickly get into their emotions, their feelings. So if someone cuts them off, it's road rage, and then they'll try to have a quick response. If someone sends them a nasty email, then they're quick to respond with a nasty email. If someone says something that's like rude or sharp-tongued toward them, they'll turn around and say something even ruder or sharp-tongued in response. And so whatever they're doing, they're going to be like easily, quickly provoked and to move out based on how they feel. And so there's 2 important reasons why we should not. So the first one is that being easily provoked gets you into trouble and sin. And in Proverbs 19:2, it says also that the soul be without knowledge, it is not good, and he that hasteth with his feet sinneth. And this is what I'm talking about a little bit earlier. So if someone cuts you off in your car, now you're in a car that can end people's lives, but then you may go out in response. You're not going to let someone get away with that. So you'll do something that may wind up injuring other people, yourself and others, in order to get back at them or revenge or some type of justification. And this is when I was talking about earlier in other videos about how when you're in your emotions, it's like being drunk, where you begin to lose your inhibitions and you begin to do things that you normally wouldn't do if you were thinking soberly or if you were sober. And so this is one person that when you're hasting with your feet to make a move, you sin. So now you're getting yourself into a position that you begin to come out of alignment with God's will, because if someone sends you an email, you're going to type one back really fast. Somebody cuts you off, you're going to cut them off. Someone hits you, you're going to hit them back. You're going to find some way to get revenge or justification or to prove that people shouldn't be messing with you. And so that's the number one thing. But in James 19 and 20, it says, "Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God." So here it is. I want to be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. And this is what number 2 is. Being easily provoked cause you to respond prematurely and often wrong. Because when we go back to this, when we want to respond and say something, then if I'm quick to hear, and if I'm slow to speak and slow to become angry, then I have an opportunity to really look at what's going on and how to respond to the situation in the right manner. How to respond to the situation where I'm not angry, I'm not in envy or jealousy, I'm not raging, and something, I'm not sad or depressed, where I know where I'm at, and then I can respond in a way that's godly. And even in this other perspective, let me read this one scripture to you in Proverbs 18:17. It says, "He that is first in his own cause seemeth just, but his neighbor cometh and searcheth him." So it's almost like every story sounds true until you hear the other side. So then if I'm easily provoked to stir up and to respond with something, I may be missing something else or another perspective that will help me gain a greater response, or at least gain greater information so I can have a proper response. So that's why it's important for me to be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because there may be something, my first initial response, number 1, is probably in the flesh and probably worldly, and it has nothing to do with God oftentimes. But then if I sit back and wait, then I can find time to kind of get the right response, the godly response, so that God can be pleased with what I do, and I'm still operating in love. Because some people may like being direct. Somebody has something to say to you really sharp, you say something sharp back. And they say, "Well, man, that was rude." And you're like, "That wasn't rude, I'm just being direct." When you wasn't actually being direct, you didn't care how it came off, but all you were doing was just making sure you got your point across, as opposed to paying attention, as I talked about before. Love is not rude, so it's going to be concerned about how it says something. Even if it's being direct, I'm going to make sure that it's said in the right manner. Because here it is, and being slow to wrath gives you time and patience to learn all perspectives that I said, and to respond with kindness and without jealousy or being rude, selfish, proud, or boastful. And so oftentimes when you're quick to be provoked, you're often responding in a selfish and prideful manner. You're not looking out for other people or the needs of others. Oftentimes it's in a selfish manner. So you want to make sure you're not being selfish, operating in the flesh, or with pride. And so this isn't saying that somebody won't ever be mad, because even in Philippians 4:26-27 says, "Be ye angry and sin not, let not the sun go down on your wrath, neither give place to the devil." So now while I'm waiting, I may be upset about something, but then if I'm upset about it, this is what I can do. I can say, "Lord, I understand that I want to respond right now because someone belittled me and humiliated me and made me seem like I was nothing, or I don't have the proper skills or knowledge, or that I'm intelligent. I want to respond to protect myself, my self-image, and my reputation, but I understand that love does not seek its own. So let me pray, Lord, help me, give me some guidance on what I need to do, because this is how I want to respond." And I typed up this really nice email really quickly, but I didn't want to send it because I want to make sure that this message is in alignment with being a person that walks in love. So Lord, can you please help me? You may even let that thing sit all day long. You may talk to some friends, read the Bible, and then you say, "You know what? I may be able to send an email out, but maybe not." Or if I do send an email out, but let me recraft it and change it a little bit. Or maybe me walking down the hall or to wherever this person is, just having a face-to-face conversation after I've let my own cooler heads prevail. I'm not angry and flaming mad about what's going on. Now I have a greater perspective to understand some other things that I didn't know before. Had I would have pressed send, then those other perspectives helped me to kind of gain a greater insight into why they may have said what they said. So now I can go and talk to the person personally, or I can make a 5-minute phone call to be able to resolve the situation and be a peacemaker rather than one that separates individuals. So it's really important that we don't seek to be someone that's easily provoked. But it doesn't mean that I won't be, but it makes sure that my response has checked out all the perspectives, that I understand where I'm at. I've already checked my emotions and feelings. I prayed about it. And what I'm walking in is primarily and foundationally is love, based on what God's will and purpose may be for my life. So I just wanted to just give you these quick 2 points about what we can do as far as not being a person that is easily provoked. And I pray that God will bless you. And I pray that you'll take the time, really, when sometimes some situations go down, and anytime you feel your flesh or your emotions rise up, that's when you need to pause. Don't make a move. You want to make sure that you stop, you assess your feelings, and that you pray to God. You seek help, whether you got praise, worship, get your mind out of that worldly mindset or that frame of thinking, so that you can set your mind on heavenly things and that God can direct you and lead you. Because once you get all in the flesh, you don't want to hear the Spirit, and you're going to begin to block all those things. I'm not going to look at my word. I'm not going to read anything. I'm not going to talk to the godly people, because sometimes there's certain people that you should probably call when things are going down, but you try to stay away from them because you want to operate in the flesh or in your own self, or you want to be able to justify yourself and bring any type of recognition or justice to you, as opposed to letting God be glorified. So I pray that God will help you through this message, so that you will learn how not to be easily provoked in your spirit, where you begin to act out, whether it's in anger or doing something else, doing things that's operating outside of what God would have you to do, outside of the mode of love. And so if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please hit me up, shoot me a comment, shoot me an email, and then like this video. If it blessed you, please share it with your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until the next time, may God bless you abundantly. God bless.